Hello everyone, it's Tom again. Hope you're all keeping well. Hope you enjoyed the last little video on the stamps and you got some enjoyment and some interest out of that. I'll be doing a couple of them in the next few months with the Grand Slam coming up for the French Open. I've got some French stamps that I want to show you for that. Today I'm just going to show you a few things from tennis court, like some wooden posts that I have, some metal and wooden posts for the holding the nets. The net itself is not really anything to talk about. It's pretty much just a net. I do have some brushes for cleaning the court lines, and I've also got a couple of pieces of equipment for spray painting the lines, which is what they used to do with a chalky mixture. And I've also got some tape measures which I'd like to show you, and just a little bit talk on the pieces that I'm just about to show you. So I hope you enjoy. So just a quick note, this is the little booklet here that I'm just about to show you the pictures of. So it's from Colas Company, and they are a tennis court and path construction. So they do repair and surfacing of asphalt, tennis courts, paths, and etc. And they've got a lot of interesting details here on how to level the ground, what the surface should be laid out for in order to make the tennis court surface solid. It tells you the materials you need, the construction, how to put it together, and it also has gravel areas for the paths around the tennis court, screedings, asphalt, earth courts, so earth tennis courts, etc. So it's a really interesting little book. So there's some little marking pins which I'm not sure if you can still buy them, but I'm assuming you can. These particular ones I'm just going to show you a picture of are a sort of plasticky feel, and they would be tapped into the ground after you've measured where your court's going to go. And these are originally these would have been made of metal, like a set square type shape, depending on what the intersections of the lines were. And so this picture here is just the ones that are plasticky ones, but I did have a picture of some metal ones, and I can't find it now, unfortunately. But this is just where you would then have marked the court, and then when you're ready to put the lines down, if it was the material lines, you would then just draw, extend the material out from one marking pin to the next marking pin, depending on what line you're putting out. This is one of the tape measures that I've got for the tennis courts. You can see it's got the measurements on it. I'll just let you see the little video. So here you can see the tennis court line measurement. It has all the individual measurements on there to help you set up the length of the lines. And it has the little winding mechanism here, which when you pull the tape measure out, this is the one you use to wind it back. And then this little thing just closes shut. On the back of this one, you can see it's just a normal sort of leather finish to it and brass edging. It's quite a nice little one. And the second one I have is this one, which is metal as well. It's got the same sort of markings on it. So I'll just let you see the little video on that. So as you can see, it's a black metal one. It's brass again, and as per the other one, it has all the markings on there ready for you to know what measurements you need to make. It's a linen tape in this one, And after you've pulled it out, you've got the same mechanism as you had on the last one, which was a little pull out knob, and you just basically turn it in order to rewind the tape back in again. So this one has a brass back as opposed to a leather one. So when it comes to the size of these, you can see that one's rather larger than the other. They're tape-wise, there would still be the same amount of tape because you need to have the length of the full court lines. So that it's just one's just a little bit more compact than the other one. But they're rather nice. As I say, I've got 2 or 3 of them. A couple of them are not as well marked on the actual tape itself. Oh, not on necessarily tape, but on this part here. They're quite worn. So when I came across ones that were a lot better, I purchased these ones, intending to sell the other ones, but unfortunately I've just not got round to doing that yet. So they're still in the cabinet with all the other ones. So now you've used the pins to measure out where the line's going, and you've used the tape measures to make sure they're the correct length. You can, instead of using plastic tape in the old days, well, prior to plastic tape, they had what was called a fountain court marker. This is a picture of it, as you can see here. And I've got 2 of these. I'll just show you the first video and give a little talk about that, and then I'll do the other one. So here's the first one that I do have. And you can see it's all metal, except for the handles, just wood. It has 2 wheels to push it along. And the large canister, which would have held the chalky residue, which would have been slightly enough to spray. And so it was in this canister under pressure. And the paint, or whatever you would have called the chalky mixture, would have come out between these 2 holes at the bottom. And as you walk along, it would spray the line. So here you can see a more modern version of the fountain court marker. It's got rubberized wheels in this case. It also has the foot pump fixed to the side, which was missing on the other one. But it's the same sort of setup. So this is the foot pump, and it was connected to the bottom of the front of that canister. You would just slip it off the holder, and you would put it between your feet. Put it between your feet, and you would do a pump action to get the pressure into the canister. That was the funnel that came with this one. And then once you've pumped up the pressure with the foot pump, you pull this lever, and that would start the spraying at the bottom. Excuse my socks in that picture. So down the bottom of that lever, you'll see that it moves a mechanism up and down, and that releases the spray from the pressure of the little nozzle. You'll see there's a little nozzle in between. I'll just show you the pump here. Again, excuse my socks, I was on the deck doing this video. Okay, so you just put your feet, put this in between, pump this up till the pressure is in the canister. That then gets put back in the little container that holds it. When you pull that lever at the top, it then releases the pressure. So this little lever at the top here. So those two line markers are quite interesting. And I've got another one here that I think might be a little bit more fun for you. So I'll just show you the video for that. Here it's a hand push one, obviously. Same. Now in here it's a small container. There's no pressurized container on this one. It's just simply a mixture of the chalk that you make for the lines. And it's got two little wheels on it that you push it along the tennis court. This little metal container with a handle is where the chalky residue that you would have mixed goes in. You just pour it in here and it falls through the hole at the bottom, so there's no pressure, as I say, in this one. Down the bottom of it, underneath, this is where the chalk residue would have come out. The linen is worn away, so this would just have been a covered piece of linen, and it would have been soaked by, and then it would have marked the court with the paint. So it's a bit worn away down the bottom of this one. Okay, so these were quite interesting little pieces of equipment for making the chalk lines on the tennis courts. So now I'm going to show you some net posts, and I've got a nice pair of wooden net posts from Slazenger, and I've also got a nice pair of metal ones which are quite heavy. They're made by Barker, Spink and Lease, not a name that I've heard of to be honest with you. They're from Shipley in London, or in England, sorry, not London. These were called the Quick Fix. And you can see down the bottom they've got holes that you would have pegged the posts into the grass. The post at the top is for the net to go across, and on that little brass hook it fixes the net. And the other one is the winding mechanism to tension the net on the other post. The feet here, as you can see, they've got the holes ready for the pegs to go into the grass. So the second set is the ones from Slazenger, and you can see that these have got a different base. These were actually fitted into holes that would have been in the ground. They're a nice wooden set. And you can see up the side of the posts are hooks. These were for fitting the edges of the net onto. And on this post you'll see this is where the net would have gone across the top over this metal wheel. And halfway down that post there is a large metal hook, and that would have been used to fix one end of the net onto this hook just there. On the other post it's the hooks that are up for the side of the net on the other side. And then there's a winding mechanism on this one. This is all brass. And so this was wound to tension the net. On the other side of that little handle, you can see this little clicking mechanism. So that was when you turn the handle, that would keep the ratchet in place so that it didn't fall back and the net would just release its tension. So two nice sets of posts there, very heavy metal. So they're definitely, especially the ones you have to peg into the grass, I would hate to be carrying them out every day because they are extremely heavy. Now I have a little line sweeper, so a brush that you clean the lines with. It's made in Melbourne and it's called the Espresso line sweeper. It's got a couple of wheels on it, brush on a pole, and it's just a normal simple push action where you brush the lines. I thought it was handmade, but it has got a maker's label on it, which is the metal plate that you see here. And I thought it was handmade because it looks like it's just been repaired, but it is actually a piece of equipment. And this is how it works. So it's a very simple but quite ingenious piece of equipment for brushing the lines. Okay, so a little bit of fun there. Hope you enjoyed it as usual. I'd like to see you watching my videos and making any comments that you want to make. I've not got any comments restricted, so if you think they're rubbish, let me know that as well, and I'll try and make them more interesting for you, or perhaps find something that you're interested in that's related to tennis, and I'll see what I've got. So thanks again for watching. Have a good day and look after yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.